It's now time for the morning show on XL7-TV.
Welcome to the morning show on XL7-TV. I'm David Stroud here with Scooter Scott Callies.
Whoop whoop.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing real good, and you?
I am wonderful. Doing better now that I got to see you.
That's true.
Yeah.
I am.
Now, you had, unlike the rest of us, I'm just saying, you had a day off yesterday.
That's true.
How was it?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. I love
Went
that.
fishing
Went fishing.
with Can Man and got skunked. But we saw a snake,
There you go. There
a
you
turtle,
go. All right.
mama duck with ducklings, and the Mountain Home Street Department weed eating.
And all that, nothing was biting, including the street department.
Yeah. We saw fish. We went to the, oh my goodness, I'm going to forget the name, the pond. Back by the bypass.
Oh, yeah.
What's that park's name?
I forget.
We need Enoch here. When?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enoch.
Anyway, so we saw the fish. The fish saw us. But I guess they weren't hungry. Or we just didn't have the right bait. I don't know.
Should we call Enoch? See if he answers.
Yeah, sure.
All right, you go ahead. Start with our.
Well, Roller Funeral Home. With all our
Probably
respect.
not the best thing to do.
He was actually going to call. I felt like he was actually going to call. I got 29 in the state, one in Memphis, Tennessee. We're sure to appreciate them in our time of need when we lose a loved one. It's always good to have a plan in place, so you can give them a call at 870-425-2161. Ask them about pre-need service. I have a plan, you have a plan, but we haven't called Roller. Oh,
We should.
we should.
We
You
should.
should.
That way you're not relying on your loved ones to know what your wishes are,
Yeah.
to make all those plans while they're going through a tough time, and it just takes a little bit of edge off and makes a sad situation a little bit easier.
Yeah, definitely. We'll pause now for the morning prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for watching over us. Please watch over the families of those souls that are in that submarine over by the Titanic. I know it's probably been a long time and you've already taken them into your home. Just watch over their families and their friends as they wait to see what happens. Watch over everybody that's hungry and homeless and needing help right now. And watch over our children, our first responders, and our military, those that put themselves in harm's way for our freedom. And this I pray, amen.
Amen.
Roller Funeral Home, with all our respect. Like I said, give them a call, 870-425-2161. Ask them about pre-need service. It's always good to have a plan in place.
I agree. Now we're going to try Enoch.
Yeah?
Yeah, I want to try him. I want to see if he'll actually answer.
See if he actually answers, because we
Yeah.
can't remember the name of a park.
I'll put him
Say.
on speaker once I get him on the phone.
Enoch's great, but he's probably, 7:03? He might not even be out of bed yet.
Enoch. Hey, you're live. You're live on the air, so be careful. Hey,
Live on the air.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well.
I got it. We had a question for you because we couldn't think of the name of the park. It's the one that you go, the pond you go fishing at off the bypass.
McCabe.
McCabe Park.
Park.
That's it.
Oh, thank
See,
you.
Enoch.
Aquatic Center's going.
Enoch from the youth center has got us.
Yes.
I knew we could call him, and he
I knew it.
We had a debate over this. We're live on the air, and I knew
Am I
that.
really live on the air?
Yeah.
Yes. Say hello.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you guys that I think you guys are the best looking guys I've ever come across in my entire life.
I knew
Both
it.
of you.
Thank you, Enoch.
Just
I appreciate that.
So ruggedly handsome. Both of you so just ruggedly handsome.
Even with the gray?
Makes it better. That's wisdom. Enoch, we love you. Thank you. Have a good day at the youth center today.
too.
Thanks for answering our dilemma.
You got it.
Bye.
Sorry I had to do it.
That's all right. McCabe Park.
McCabe, yes.
We have so many wonderful parks.
We
in
do.
this, we do.
And I lose track of what all they're called. So
Yeah.
that's why I knew who to go to.
Yeah. And,
Enoch's the man.
he is the man. It's always a pleasure to have him on the show.
It's hilarious.
A delight.
But I had to talk to him off air because you never know how he's going to respond to me.
Right.
And it may not be appropriate.
Right. Hey, you're on the air. Be careful what you say. It might not be appropriate, but it'll be funny.
There you go.
All right, let's pause now for Bob and Linda Zadora of the Z Team.
Be right back.
Oh, honey, we've had such a wonderful vacation here in the Ozarks. I really hate to go home.
I know. The lakes, the rivers, they've all been great for fishing. Oh, and the boating and the swimming.
And the people are so nice in the stores and restaurants.
Let's call an agent and see if we can make Mountain Home our new home.
Call the Z-Team, 870-405-0793. Century 21 Lemac Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East Mountain Home.
870-405-0793. Hello, Z-Team?
Welcome back to the Morning Show on XL7-TV. Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z-Team, can help you find your new home here. If you're visiting, they can help
you find anything.
Anything.
They've been around. They're a big part of the community and things that are going on. If you have a question over anything, call the Z-Team.
Exactly. That's true. Linda can probably answer just about anything you want to know about the Ozarks.
And most of the stuff that are going on in the community and stuff are listed on their website. They got an awesome website.
And they're usually there.
Yeah.
At events.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If they don't have a booth set up or they're walking around it or they're helping, they're volunteering at it, they're doing something in the community.
They are really involved in this community. And it really helps. I mean, you got a realtor that really cares and is that involved and they know everything that's going on and it makes a difference.
It does. Very good.
There you go.
Let's take a look at the White River, brought to you by the Z Team. Oh, that's magical.
That's a beautiful shot this morning.
That is absolutely amazing. Cotter, Arkansas, the horseshoe bend of the White River, brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora of the Z Team, in way of their webcams that are on their website at retiredarkansas.net. 24/7, you can go take a look at this view. Man, that really
do a lot of
amazing.
fishing on the river. I have not actually fished this section right here, and I'm going to. I want to get up
it's
there.
so easy.
Well, I know.
It's Cotter.
I know, but I have not done. I have
Oh.
not been up to there.
Well,
I'm usually south of here.
Yeah.
And but I think I'm gonna put in up here. I'm gonna talk to a couple places up there, see where some of the good spots are and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because there's good spots and spots that just aren't. And,
definitely.
And you got to learn that. And so best thing to do is kind of talk around. People tell you.
Think somebody will tell you their best spot?
Yeah, no, they'll tell us good areas to go.
Good areas. They'll be like, well,
this general area. You want to be above the bridge or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, above the bridge, how far?
Yeah.
That's not it. Yeah.
Look at that shot.
That is amazing.
With a little bit of fog on the river.
A little bit of smoke.
On the water.
Very nice. Look, it's panning out. You got David's Island there to the left. Look, it's amazing. That does look really cool.
That is a beautiful shot this morning.
You're getting a little of that yellow coming through. Amazing. Brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora of the Z Team on their website at retiredarkansas.net, where you can also find their listings, the MLS listings, and a plethora of information.
A plethora.
Yeah. Like Scooter was saying earlier, they got all kinds of stuff on there. If you want to know what's going on in the neighborhood or just you're looking for a house, so you can find all of that information on there and these webcams. This one that moves around, zooms in and out, stays 15, 20 seconds per area. And I'm thinking the next zoom in is at the railroad.
It may be.
It's a train station. I think so. Should we wait and see? Or do we have to move on?
We better move on.
We better move on.
You're well over time already.
That's not my fault.
Story of your life.
You had to call Enoch because we couldn't remember the name of it. There it goes. I told you. See,
I knew you were going to put it off and wait.
I'm getting good at this. I love the train station. All right, the weather brought to you by the Z Team. Mountain Home at 67, Harrison 68, Batesville 69, Yellville at 68, Marshall at 68, Salem at 64, Mountain View at 68, Calico Rock at 67, West Plains at 64, Springfield at 70, Poplar Bluff at 66, and St. Louis at 64. So Springfield's the upper winner today at 70.
There you go.
National Weather Radar. I just keep having a heavy activity. Look in the Gulf, down from Louisiana all the way over to Florida, well, across Florida up into Georgia and North Carolina, and it's just, it's just raining everywhere.
They can have it. We do need some rain here. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah. We get a little bit here and there sporadically, and then it dries up so fast it's like it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, but our neck of the woods, it doesn't look like we're going to have anything today. I don't see anything. Yeah, look, there's 1 o'clock right there. So, no kind of activity in the afternoon. Look, they're just spotty. That's the little bit of smoke you saw in the water, I think, though.
Yeah.
That's okay. We'll be okay. And watches and warnings. Boy, the other day, Texas was covered up with those red flag and heat advisories, and they still are. Red flag and heat advisory warnings, pretty much most of Texas. It's moved out of Louisiana. You got some in the parts of Oklahoma, looks like near Tulsa. And our neck of the woods looks pretty good, so no watches or warnings. 7-day forecast. Today, sunny, high of 85. Tonight, mostly clear, low of 62. Friday, sunny, high 89. Friday night, mostly clear, low of 67. Saturday, 20% chance, slight chance of showers, high of 90. You know, they might actually like that at ASU. Saturday night, you know, for the fireworks.
Yep.
Just slight chance of showers, maybe just cool it off, but then it moves out and gets muggy. Saturday night, partly cloudy, then a chance of thunderstorms at 30%, low of 71. Sunday, we got a small chance of showers, then a little bit higher at 40%, high of 92. Sunday night, 40% chance of thunderstorms, low of 67. Monday, sunny, high of 89. Let's see, pollen count. You know what's there? No, it's not. It's saying tree pollen is none. Grass pollen today is moderate. Ragweed is moderate. See, I could be wrong.
You're known for that.
Mm-hmm. Norfolk Lake water level's at 556.65. Level is 4.65 feet above full pool, and they're shut down. Bull Shoals Lake water level's at 660.47. Level is 1.47 feet above full pool. They're generating 2. Let us look at your weather. Brought to you by the Z Team. Bob and Linda Zadora. Give them a call at 870-405-0793. Realtors you'd recommend to a friend. Go to their website at retiredarkansas.net, where you can find all their listings, the MLS listings, and a plethora of information about the Ozarks. See what it means to live in this area.
There you go.
It's absolutely wonderful. We love it. We hope you join us if you don't already live here. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we're going to come back.
Get a quick word from Mower Warehouse.
Mower Warehouse.
We'll be right back with some community events.
Woo!
Hi, Brett, Fritz, and Paisley here at Mower Warehouse on Buzzard Roost Road. Mower Warehouse has the largest selection of Ferris zero-turn mowers in stock. 0% financing available. Mower Warehouse also services all brands of mowers. We offer free delivery. Come see us for all your mower needs. That's Mower Warehouse on Buzzard Roost Road, where your business is appreciated.
Going on now through June, up to $500 off select mowers at Mower Warehouse, with no money down and payments as low as $89 per month.
Have you ever...
Welcome back to the Morning Show. Oh, Mower Warehouse of Mountain Home, Arkansas sponsors this part of community news for anything outdoors. Get that yard cleaned up. Carla did a really good job at mowing the other day. Just had to shout that out. She had mowed in 18 years, and she did.
Well, I went to Mower Warehouse the other day.
What happened?
I was helping a buddy with his mower, and he called me and said his belt broke and needed help putting the belt on. So I went over there, and the belt was shredded. So automatically, you know there's more than just a belt broke. It got hot.
Yeah.
So as I'm taking off the left cover of the deck, there's the pulley for the right side. It was sitting on the left side of the deck. So we got in there, and it one of the bearings went out. But when it did, it heated up and kind of ate up everything.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got this weird custom-made spacer thing that's also goes up inside it. And so we went over to Mower Warehouse, and he was able to find us a belt and a pulley. But that little spacer piece that also goes, like I said, it goes up inside. It's weird, made really weird. He said it's custom ordered for that specific mower. And, of course, he didn't have one. So he went back to his machine shop and made one for me.
That's awesome. He's like, I got you.
By the time we were done, I had all the parts I needed, and they had us up and going. And so if you're looking for parts, I'm telling you, they keep parts for most brands that are out there. You can't keep every part. There are a lot of parts that are custom. But,
you don't want to stock everything.
He will do anything he can do to get you back up and going. And he proved that on this last trip. and they did a great job. They do parts service on about any mower. They have got so many mowers up there, and if you guys are interested in mower, if anybody's looking at buying a new mower, just now until the end of June. I mean, this is it. We're running out of time, but they're doing those big rebates.
Yeah.
Most of them are quite large. Most of the mowers were like $500 off.
That's
it's
excellent.
a great deal.
That is a great deal. Go by Mower Warehouse. They're at 17 Full Bite Drive, just off Buzzard Roost Road. You can go to mountainhomemowerrepair.com, take a look at their website, and give them a call, 870-701-5222. This week's in community news, the Paul Bunyan Breakfast coming up this weekend. All you can eat scrambled eggs, biscuits and sausage gravy, pancakes, sausage links, coffee, and juice. It's $8 for adults, $4 for children under 12. But if they're under 5, that's free. It's at St. Peter the Fisherman Catholic Church. They're at 249 Dryer Street in Mountain Home, the Parish Life Center. And on-duty Mountain Home firefighters will enjoy their meals as guests of the nights. Takeout is also available.
Go by, get some breakfast for going over to Red, White, and Blue. That just works out.
There you go.
That works out.
That's a great idea. If you're not going to do the 5K, no, wait, you could probably still do the 5K.
And then sneak over there.
And get you some breakfast.
Because you don't want to have breakfast for the 5K.
No, probably not a good idea. The Northwest Arkansas Wellness Innovative Readiness Training, July 11th through the 19th. This is no-cost medical services brought to you by our military.
It's awesome.
Do a very good job. Yeah.
All free medical services. They offer, a lot of stuff from dental to vision to medical to, and it's all free.
It's all free. Just give them your name and date of birth and tell them what ails you.
Yep.
And that's it. You're off to the races.
And even though they're in Yellville, people from Mountain Home, this whole surrounding area is invited. If you want to go, they will take care of you.
Exactly. And that'll be located at the Yellville Summit High School at 1124 Panther Ave in Yellville. And that'll be July 11th through the 19th. They have different hours of operations during those times. July 11th to the 15th is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The 16th is 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. The 17th and 18th is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the 19th is 9 a.m. to noon. So go check that out. That's going to be good. And for any other calendar of events, I always like to go to enjoymountainhome.com/events. where you can find all kinds of information about what's going on in our area. And you can see BRMC, the Schliemann Center. There's the Red, White, and Blue Festival coming up this weekend, folks. We've got the Ultimate Jeep versus Broncos show. There's the Paul Bunyan Breakfast. See, all this stuff is on there. Look, the Post is having an all-you-can-eat pancakes. So go to enjoymountainhome.com where you can see this calendar of events. And in the top right corner, there's how many events will be that day. You can click on each day, and it's going to take you straight to it. Look, Hamlet, June 9th. That was, I clicked something backwards, didn't I? And I did it again. There we go. I just like to be goofy, don't I? Anyway, calendar of events at enjoymountainhome.com. We better go ahead and take a break and come back with Tim Burnley of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission.
We'll be right back.
All right.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detail services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, it's our desire that you think about finding a way to live your life to the fullest while living with a serious illness. If you ever need help and support, we provide a team of healthcare professionals and volunteers that will support your physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life while doing the same for your family and caregivers in the comfort of your own home or wherever you call home. When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, we hope that you grant us permission to walk on the journey with you. Your not-for-profit option since 1979.
When you're out of town, make sure your pet is with someone who will love them as much as you do. At 201 Pet Salon and Resort, your pet is cared for just as they would be at home. 201 Pet Salon and Resort is the only all-suite climate-controlled and air-filtered boarding facility in the area with private and spacious rooms to keep your pet relaxed. And with over 3/4 of an acre of fenced play area, your pet will receive the proper exercise they deserve. 201 also offers professional grooming services. Your best friend is in good hands at 201 Pet Salon and Resort in Mountain Home.
All you've ever wanted was a place to write your story. You hear it's not the right time to buy or sell a house, but really, the best time is when it's right for you. The real estate markets, they change, they go up, they go down. One thing that doesn't change is where you want to be in your life. The professionals you team up with will make your story happen. The Z Team are the professionals you need to hire for your next chapter. So call the Z Team at 870-405-0793, Century 21 Lemac Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East, retiredtoarkansas.net.
Are you looking for the best barbecue in 2 states?
Holy smokes!
Want the meatiest fall-off-the-bone ribs?
Holy smokes!
The most tender and delicious pulled pork?
Holy smokes!
The tastiest brisket in the Ozarks?
Holy smokes!
Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering is the only place you need to go. Dine in, carry out, and the best food for your next catered event.
Holy smokes!
We're your mountain home for great barbecue cooking.
Holy smokes!
A higher calling for your taste buds.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Our guest is Tim Burnley. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Doing great.
Very good. He is the Stream Habitat Coordinator, River Management. There's a lot of it to manage, so
we stay busy for sure.
Definitely. 90,000 miles of streams, rivers, bayous, creeks, and springs here in Arkansas. And so the Arkansas Game and Fish does a very good job of keeping them straight and narrow.
Try to.
Yeah.
Try to do our best.
What have you guys been up to lately?
Oh man, May was a busy month. I think towards the end of May we actually had National Fish Migration Day or something. So something that's kind of come on the scene in the last few years is doing barrier removal projects, and in Arkansas, think of those as the thousands of low water crossings that we have on our creeks.
Yeah,
and,
a lot of them. Yeah.
You know, from my nerd standpoint, from our science standpoint, those are fish migration. Well, actually, any aquatic organism migration barriers to go up and spawn and do the things they need. So we want them out, but it's a lot more than that. I mean, they're dangerous for people to drive over.
Yeah.
You get on our larger rivers where you have people canoeing and kayaking. They're hazards for them. The counties spend a lot of money maintaining those things. I mean, and when you start taking one out, it's just amazing the layers and years of concrete that people have chased the dream, I would say, of keeping that thing in place. There's a lot of federal interest in getting rid of these. Mm-hmm. So we started focusing on them, and in May we actually took 4 out. 2 down in southwest Arkansas, close to DeQueen, actually Dirks, which is I guess a suburb of DeQueen down there. We also took one out on Cave Creek on our own management area over there.
Yeah.
It's a tributary of the Buffalo, and there's actually 2 more that will be removed on Cave Creek in the next couple of years, making it a free-flowing tributary of the Buffalo River, which is pretty cool. And then we helped the county actually on Hightower Creek on Denton Ferry Road. And y'all know the flooding problems that they've had up there over the past few years.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
all of those culverts and stuff were taken out, and now there's an actual span bridge that goes over that. So, that has benefits for the public that's not interested in fishing and hunting, but it also has benefits for what we do.
Yeah, definitely make it easier crossing it. I think they're probably close to covering that bridge now, right? Doing the
They should be getting close to the blacktop. I know they have it open. They've had it open, but they've had gravel approaches, and they're just going to blacktop the gravel approaches. But that's going to be a tough thing to do, to look at, all right, we want to remove this. So you got to look. It's there for a reason. I mean, there's traffic
Right.
going across, so now you got to find a way to either build a bridge or find an alternate route that's not going to put them driving hours.
Yeah,
to get
too much
around
out
to
of the way.
something, and then, like you said, a lot of these have been repaired over years and years and years. So I mean, there's so much concrete under there where they've added another layer or done this
Right,
or done that,
right.
and I'm sure those can be major projects.
They're pretty intense. We were lucky. We were working on Weyerhaeuser ground in southwest Arkansas, and the ones that we started with were unsafe, no longer usable. It actually kind of helped them. They had access from both sides, and a lot of times that river is the boundary between their deer clubs. So now they don't have to worry about this guy from this deer club crossing the river to get on that guy's deer club.
Yeah.
So they were actually happy. And yeah, you know, as people, we always look at initial costs when we look at stuff. And that's why these low water crossings were done. You could go put 2 or 3 culverts and a couple of $1,000s worth of concrete and have a crossing across the creek. But we've learned over time there's associated costs with that build up, you know, over decades. You may spend a little bit of money to get started to build a span bridge, but over a 10-year period, you're going to be a lot cheaper if you take away all that maintenance after every
Maintenance
flood.
repair, yeah.
You know, when we had flood once every 10 years, it wasn't that big of a deal, but now it's every year. You know, we get these spotty large rains that kind of stress our infrastructure, and when you start talking about going back to these things every year to re-pour concrete or dredge gravel or something like that, it doesn't take long for that to add up.
So when you remove these, they find an alternate route. There's no more crossing in that spot?
No, a lot of times, like with
They-
Hightower Creek, we'll go back in with the span bridge. And, you know, there's some technology coming out that makes those maybe a little cheaper than they were years ago, especially for smaller crossings. So, we use a lot of like train car decks or rail cars or something in the smaller bridges. The neat thing about those is you can bury them in the substrate or completely take the bottom off, and you actually have your stream gravel substrate in the bottom for those fish and other things to migrate up through, but you still have the crossing over the top.
Very cool. I'd have to take a look at that. That's neat that you guys found a way to reuse something for that.
Right.
Yeah, very good. Scooter, before we started, he was talking about getting his boat inspected. And so that it's that time of year, people are using the rivers more. I guess they probably still do during wintertime, but there's older boats that don't have a VIN that's long enough, and that's going to have to be changed. So tell us about what that boat inspection entails.
I know I got 2 boats. One of my older boats, they sent me a letter that they don't recognize the VIN or in the new system, and that it needs a new VIN number, and that you got to take it in and have it inspected, and then you guys give us a new VIN or something. That's what I figured I'd bring that up, because you said it was common. A lot of people have.
Right, and I don't know exactly when the law changed. It may have always been, but I know about 3 years ago, the enforcement of it changed. It's actually what you need is called a HIN, which is a hull identification number. Usually that's either a metal plate back on the back by the transom, or sometimes it's stamped into the fiberglass or boats in one of the compartments. For a while, a boat was the only thing, and we're talking pretty expensive things these days, you know, that somebody could come steal from you, and there was no way for you to prove that one he just pulled past your house was yours, because there was no identifying feature on some of them. So that's a lot of this effort is to make that, you know, make that possible.
If
somebody's got your
identifiable,
boat in Oklahoma, it's got that number on it. Unfortunately, a lot of the old boats, the tag's falling off, the numbers have worn down. If you take them to register them at DMV, they're going to tell you to come talk to Game and Fish. As always, come to our office there at 650 South Street, and we can get you the information. We've got one of our fine ladies in enforcement in Hot Springs. Let's see, Captain Stephanie Weatherington, I believe, is her name, and
Okay.
we've got her contact information, and she handles all of that for the state.
Very good. Well, it's one of them things that we have so many waterways and lakes and rivers and stuff like that. Tell us what it's like to be a stream habitat coordinator and the things that you do.
Oh man, it's busy. Which the thing I enjoy is getting on the equipment and tearing things out or installing things.
Thrill of destruction.
Unfortunately, I don't get to do that as much anymore. There's a lot of office time. There's a lot of, making sure that what we do gets out to the public in the state and across the Southeast and nationwide. That's, our partnership with Weyerhaeuser in Southwest Arkansas is kind of rippling across the Southeast. They've got a lot of land as a timber company. They've got 34,000 documented stream crossings.
Wow.
Just on their property alone. But yeah, it's, trying to get that publicity out there a little bit so people know what we're doing. There's just a lot of day-to-day administration, budget. Y'all full well know how all of that stuff goes. Here with the trout habitat program, which is part of our stream program, we deal with a ton of landowners on the tailwaters, helping them with stream bank stabilization issues and just other things. You do this long enough, people know your name and you're kind of the go-to. I had a lady call me the other day in full panic. She was mowing her yard and got her lawnmower stuck and tried to pull it up the hill with her Jeep. Oh, no. And the strap broke and the lawnmower was upside down in the river. And she's like, I didn't know who else to call but you.
Sure.
So, anyway, we got her calmed down and got somebody out there that could get her lawnmower back up on dry property. So,
yeah. I've seen that before. In fact, up in Missouri, we were on CC Access at Norfolk area, but I think somebody had dumped the lawnmower. There's a big tall bridge, and it was in the middle of the water. We think they just pushed it off over which is a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, do you have banks projects that you've been doing? That's what you guys can help with landowners. Scooter has a piece of land that's on the water, and when it's really high, it washes it out, and when it's low, you can change things. But you guys can help with that.
Right. And this is the time of year we start getting calls while the water's high. People can't really see the damage that may be happening.
Yeah.
And then when we start getting these periods of low generation, we start getting a lot of calls to come help private landowners. We've got a packet of information. Once we come out, we'll make some recommendations. We'll give them that information. It walks them through the permitting process. We have a list of contractors in there that do this type of work, so they can call those contractors and get an estimate, and then we typically provide, based on, depending on budget and all of that, we'll provide up to 20 loads of rock per landowner to install their project, if they follow the recommendations, of course.
Right.
We also try to take good care of our own property. We've got, I don't know how many accesses across the state, but a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've started in the past few years doing some erosion control projects on our own property. A lot of times they're loved to death. The land on either side of the boat ramps is eroded, it's muddy, it's slick. People that go down to bank fish then get on the ramps to bank fish. Well, then you've got a guy with a boat, so you have that, kind of created conflict.
Yeah.
So just to take care of our property and to help the public out there, we've started going in and stabilizing those areas. We just did one this few months ago at the Sillamore access on the White. Used some really cool, which I like to think rocks are cool anyway, but these things were 3 inches thick and probably 15 foot square.
Yeah.
And so we were able to put those, and people were taking advantage of that. They've got a place to put their lawn chair and sit there and fish, and they're not on the ramp. We did a big one over at Bayou Access on Spring River. Next week we're starting 2 on the Little Red, one at Barnett and one at Dripping Springs. We've had those in the works. In fact, we moved equipment foolishly down there in like February, March. Anyway, it started raining while we were on the way down there, so we're just now getting back. But those seem to be popular with the public, and this time of year, the most difficult thing about them is there's still a lot of people wanting to use the access while you're working, so we kind of have to work around that. And people are usually pretty good once they figure out what's going on to give us a little bit of space.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's 7:35. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come back with more from Tim Burnley of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment. Their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Overhead Door, a garage door company that has been with your family from the beginning, through all the ups and downs of life. From the small repairs to making your vision a reality. Overhead Door, your trusted garage door expert since 1921. Be sure you're getting the genuine, the original overhead door service.
Call Overhead Door Company of North Arkansas today in Mountain Home. At Letty's Mexican Restaurant, we are here to keep you safe during these difficult times, as well as serve you the best Mexican food in the area. That's why we've installed a convenient pickup window for all your to-go and pickup orders, as well as a covered outdoor seating area. Give us a call at 870-435-2532 to order your next meal. And don't forget, Letty's also provides catering for small parties or big events. Experience the best in Mexican cuisine. Letty's in Gassville.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Our guest is Tim Burnley of Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. He is our stream habitat coordinator in our area, and we were talking about Banks projects, and you were at the Little Red. Tell us about the Little Red. Well, you've said that a few times. I'm not exactly sure where that's at.
That is down. Let's see. The Little Red is if you're traveling Highway 5 to Little Rock.
Okay.
You go across the dam there just before you get into Heber.
Okay.
And Greer's Ferry Lake, of course, is the body of water, and then the Little Red River is the river that was dammed.
I've never been on either one of them.
I think it's our second longest trout water. It's I think it's 20 to 30 miles roughly.
Yeah.
Formerly held the brown trout world record for a number of years.
Oh, really?
It's a little bit, it's a different system. It's not a wide ton of gravel. There's a lot of silt, a lot of vegetation.
Is it very deep in areas?
Yeah, it's got a little more depth than you probably see like on the White River.
Really?
But it's I compare it to Norfolk. They're still a lot different, but it's a very productive system.
Yeah. So how many projects did you do in that area? Was it just a few bank systems or?
Oh, we work with a ton of landowners down there too. trying to think. I went down the other morning. Of course, I don't live there, so we kind of,
Right.
I won't say a special trip, but I was on my way to Little Rock. We had 2 landowners that I needed to go look at their property. It always happens on the Little Red. Before I got out of there, I think I'd looked at 5.
Yeah.
So it's kind of unusual, but people start calling while you're on your way down saying, hey, when are you coming to the Little Red? So, things have become more difficult in what we do and helping landowners. A lot of the lots that people are buying now, I would say, were never intended to be built on.
Yeah.
Whether that's
Yeah.
by God or by the person that developed the subdivision, they're the lot that they routed all the water through, but river frontage is at a premium, and people were starting to buy those and try to figure out how to manage the water on them. And
Yeah.
I've seen more of those situations that kind of make me say, I don't know exactly what we're going to do here,
Right.
in the past 5 years than I saw in the previous 20. So
Yeah, I can understand that. If it wasn't intended to be lived on, if it was,
Right,
it
right.
changes a lot. Yeah, I don't think
you
people
gotta-
probably coming from out of town or out of state don't understand.
A
They
lot
just
of
think
this
it's
is
river. It's
right,
river.
right. A lot of this is education.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to get to people before they start clearing and start building.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say progress has been slow on that, but I think over 20 years we do have a few people now that, in fact, one of the ones on the Little Red was a guy. He's like, well, I've cleared the top where I want my house and was thinking about starting off the bank and just wanted to know whether to do that or how to do that before I got started. And that was great. I'm like, man, I'm so glad you didn't just take all the trees off and expose the bare dirt and it started washing away, and then you're like, help, because
Right.
it's a lot easier to catch it on that front side, and it's also a lot cheaper for the landowner to catch it on that,
Yeah.
before that
And
caused a lot of
you
damage.
see a lot of river property. I mean, a lot of building, excuse me, homes and stuff that are right on the river and up a ways, and people look at that and say, "Ooh, I want to be right there on the river, and I want to," But anymore, there's a lot of restrictions that people just don't know, and they keep changing it. I mean, the height that your house has to be now based on the water, and we got a cabin on the river, and one of my neighbors went to build a thing, and they came out and told them, well, you're gonna have to build this 10 more feet up before you put the floor.
Yeah.
And it's kind of laws change and rule change, and you're smart with knowing what you're doing before you get started, because you may start on the house like they did. They had their foundation and everything in.
Right.
They're like, this ain't gonna work. It's not tall enough.
Yeah, and it's for your safety. It's not. I mean, and for nature reasons, but safety paramount more. You do it wrong, and it wipes out your house.
Yeah, and people jump in, one of the things I was just thinking about were docks. Somebody comes from out of state, they see somebody that lives on the outside bend of a river, which functions a whole lot differently than the inside
Yeah.
bend of a river, and they're like, well, look, he's got a dock. I want a dock. You fish a lot on the river. How many of these docks are still being used? Half,
Yeah.
maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're, you build one on the inside of the river every time we get a high water event, gravel accumulates, you can't get your boat out. It's just knowing where you are on the river and getting that advice of whether I should or should not do something.
Right.
Of course, we don't regulate any of that. This is just, a public service. People can do what they want to on their own property. We just try to save them.
It's for their benefit,
Right.
though.
We just try
It
to
is.
save them a little headache down the road.
Right, and to have somebody to come in with the information needed to do it right, I would take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
And honestly, guys, 90%, I know this sounds silly, but 90% of the problems I've seen on riverbanks have more to do with how people manage the water coming off of their property versus the river. It's a long driveway that accelerates water and then it runs right over the riverbank. It's a gutter system. It's a old septic.
Removing all the trees.
Removing all the
without
trees.
yeah.
It's it's very easy to it's cutting that berm off where the rainwater slopes and runs over your riverbank. It's not designed to be that way, and it can cause a lot of problems in a very quick amount of time. Water's a powerful thing when it gets going, for sure.
I've seen where somebody was backed up to a river up in Missouri, and they had stair-stepped the back of their land. Is that a good thing that they stair-stepped it for flow? Because it was on a good slope.
Yeah, we try, and we design some projects. We call them floodplain benches. I mean, if you get on a natural river system, when you get a flood, it gets out on a floodplain bench, and what that does is that widens the river. It slows that flow. It gets up in that vegetation, and it kind of reduces that force.
Okay.
Typically, where you see erosion, that channel's been narrowed. You're in kind of a narrow valley. There's nowhere for that water to go when we get these big rains, and Mother Nature's going to create a place to go in that situation.
Water will find the way.
Right.
That's definite. It's 7:45. We'll go ahead and take another break. We'll come back with more from Tim Burnley, Arkansas Game and Fish Commission.
Well, folks, have you been trout fishing before?
Not since I was a little kid.
You'll do fine.
Hey, what are you doing?
Aren't you coming along?
See you downriver.
How do you start this motor? I've never been in a boat before.
See you downriver.
Well, folks, have you sold a house before?
Yeah, about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you'll be okay then.
You sure?
Where are you going?
See you at the closing.
Hey!
At the closing.
We should have called the Z-Team.
Hi, Brett, Fritz, and Paisley here at Mower Warehouse on Buzzard Ridge Road. Mower Warehouse has the largest selection of Ferris zero-turn mowers in stock. 0% financing available. Mower Warehouse also services all brands of mowers. We offer free delivery. Come see us for all your mower needs. That's Mower Warehouse on Buzzard Ridge Road, where your business is appreciated.
Going on now through June, up to $500 off select mowers at Mower Warehouse, with no money down and payments as low as $89 per month.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detail services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, it's our desire that you think about finding a way to live your life to the fullest while living with a serious illness. If you ever need help and support, we provide a team of healthcare professionals and volunteers that will support your physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life while doing the same for your family and caregivers in the comfort of your own home or wherever you call home. When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, we hope that you grant us permission to walk on the journey with you. Your not-for-profit option since 1979.
When you're out of town, make sure your pet is with someone who will love them as much as you do. At 201 Pet Salon and Resort, your pet is cared for just as they would be at home. 201 Pet Salon and Resort is the only all-suite climate-controlled and air-filtered boarding facility in the area with private and spacious rooms to keep your pet relaxed. And with over 3/4 of an acre of fenced play area, your pet will receive the proper exercise they deserve. 201 also offers professional grooming services. Your best friend is in good hands at 201 Pet Salon and Resort in Mountain Home.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Visiting with Tim Burnley, Arkansas Game and Fish. River management, stream habitat coordination. You had mentioned earlier about education. You know, you're just trying to educate the people when they're going to build close to these things. You have different programs and workshops that go on. What happens during those times?
We do. We have a lot of different programs under the stream habitat program. You know, just the bank stabilization, the work with private landowners is just kind of one facet of what we do. We've got a lot of opportunities for what we call our citizen scientists. We also teach that to kids on a somewhat lesser level, not a scientific level, I guess I would say, but we've got several groups like the North Central Arkansas Master Naturalists, Friends of the White North Fork Rivers. We've got, these people are retired guys and they're moving here from all over the country and they're retired chemists and engineers, and they want to help take care of what we have here. And so we'll help train them. We train them in barrier assessment. We'll train them in water quality techniques. Sometimes their knowledge far exceeds mine, so they end up training me. And then they can collect water quality information. They can kind of adopt a stream, take quarterly water quality readings more if they want to. And we actually have an interactive database they can enter that into, and they can go back and look at their information at any time. We've got our Stream Team program that a lot of these sign up, under the Stream Team umbrella. They go out, again, water quality, macroinvertebrate sampling, which are little water bugs, kind of tell you the health of the waterway. Litter pickups. We've got some stream teams that are in their 30th year of doing organized litter pickups across the state.
That's excellent. Yeah. Finding them old tires.
Again, we've got a trash tracker. That's an interactive tool. It's public facing. You can go in and enter what you picked up. We work a lot with, and started working more with Keep Arkansas Beautiful and RDOT to kind of work collectively on those issues, because we've all been doing it, just kind of our own thing, and we're communicating a little more. We have education programs. Probably the last one I was involved with, my guy from this part of the state, Sean Saunders, he taught the master naturalist at Fred Berry how to do barrier assessments, and went over some of that stuff with them there. So there's a lot of different stuff out there.
And education is paramount, keeping our waterways as natural as possible if we can.
Right.
I was reading here that we've hurt many of the waterways here on the AGFC website. We've lost thousands of miles of free-flowing natural streams to damming, industrial and agricultural pollution, and other activities. Recent studies indicate we've lost more than 25% of the state's smallmouth bath streams this century. So that's a shame. But this is where you guys come in to help with education, to try to mitigate that, to keep that from happening. Yeah.
And some of the things, we enjoy, like the dams.
Yeah.
But I think some things are turning around. For this country, probably following the Second World War through the 70s were big infrastructure, and especially in Arkansas, if they could dream it, they'd build it.
Definitely.
And it may not have been the best thing to do. I think some of those things are, with our barrier removals are kind of starting to reverse, and people are better understand and appreciate more leaving things natural and getting some things back to a more natural condition where we can.
Which, the Bull Shoals Dam was created because of all the flooding that was happening. And the Arkansas government, but also federal government, saw a good purpose for that dam.
Right.
Not just to generate power, but I guess there was a couple of really bad floods back in the early 30s and 40s that wiped out all kinds of vegetation, animals. And so if we're going to live in the area, things like that need to happen.
Right.
Yeah. So, but you go to agfc.com. I mean, their website is, it's got so much information. I hear they're maybe doing some updating to it.
We are. And we're getting ready to update. I've had a couple of coordinators leave. I've got one new guy hired. I've got another new guy starting July 9th. He's going to be dedicated to the Northwest Arkansas area, which we've never had before. That place is just growing expentively.
Definitely.
My brother, and the more concrete and asphalt that you've got, the more stormwater runoff and the more problems your rivers and creeks have. We hope to mitigate some of that, to help them with some of that, but also maybe to learn what to do and not to do as areas like our very own are kind of slowly heading that direction as far as the population boom. And
it is increasing in Baxter County, that's for sure. Yeah, you're right. Northwest Arkansas is booming.
Yeah, and it has been for 20 years now, I guess. So and there's a lot of it's a very unique ecosystem over there, just like we have here. There's a lot of karst topography, a lot of caves, a lot of species that are dependent on those systems. So yeah, it's a challenge. We've got a lot of good partner groups over there, the Beaver Watershed Alliance, the Illinois River Watershed Partnership, the Kings River Watershed Partnership. But we felt it was important to have a coordinator specifically in that area to kind of guide and direct all those activities for the most good.
Definitely. So you go to AGFC and you can go to education here on the water. I just dropped that down. That's how I've got to this page, the Stream Habitat Program. Right there. And when you scroll down, you can see Tim Burnley. He's the Stream Habitat Supervisor, and the different areas where the ecosystems are more prevalent, so they have people in those areas. Sean Saunders, Stephen O'Neill, Kenny Jones, and Matthew Irvin in the different areas of the state. Like he's talking about, they get together with so many other people that it's a conglomerate trying to control what goes on in the state.
And we used to have real clear boundaries, basically have the state divided up into a fourth. That required everybody to be a generalist and to know everything about what they needed to do in their area. So, with the technology we have now, with the road systems we have now, it's a pretty short drive across Arkansas. So, we still have some generalist knowledge, but each of my guys have their own specialty, and we'll basically travel statewide. So we kind of took the boundary lines off the map. Yeah. And if it's in Sean's area, he'll travel to Southwest Arkansas if he needs to, and that guy will come here. But just trying to be a little more efficient, and I think it allows us to have a deeper knowledge of some things we just weren't able to get into all the way before.
Sure. And it's always good to have somebody that, if they are in the lower part of the state, have a little bit of knowledge of the upper part of the state and vice versa. Because if they're busy or gone, then you still have somebody else you can contact. Yeah.
And it's just it's just where we are in this country in 2023. Man, you have turnover.
Yeah.
If you keep an employee for 3 to 5 years, you're doing pretty good a lot of times.
You're right.
So until you get that stable person in an area, it's good if the other people know what's going on.
Exactly.
If somebody leaves, you're not just in a void trying to learn from ground zero. So
that is the problem of today, isn't it? Is people not staying where they're working. They jump around now. I don't know why, but it is what it is. The Arkansas Game and Fish also has a calendar of events. You can, when you open up the main page, you can click here, and I really like that because it shows the events that are going on around the state. And you guys do a lot of stuff.
Man, I can't even keep up with what's going on at Fred Berry with Heather. I mean, they offer so much stuff.
It's not really, just one location.
That's
There's
just one
locations around the whole state that's got so much going on.
Yes.
But you can find out what's going on in your neck of the woods by just following their calendar of events. But like you were talking about, the Fred Berry Creek Center, if you want to know the different centers, it's just all right here. And I forget, let's see, Explore Outdoors, Nature Centers, there it is. The different nature centers, there's Fred Berry, Crooked Creek. I mean, all the calendar of events,
Kids are out of school. If you want to get your kids outside this summer, they've got all kinds. I forget, they've got something Tuesday, something Thursdays, and fishing. I pay attention to the fishing part. Fishing Fridays. I used to say this is our busy time of year, but now I think all year's pretty busy.
It's just all the time.
We're getting ready for a big private landowner banquet in Little Rock in July. We've got, I think they just finished a kids camp in partnership with Trout Unlimited in Fayetteville over on the Beaver Tailwater. We've got kids camps on Collins Creek down on the Little Red and Dry Run Creek here in our own area, planned for I think the latter part of July or August. Start looking, if you've got kids that you want to get in those camps, start looking. They're usually 2 to 3 day, pretty intense. Learn everything from where the water in the hatchery comes from.
That's excellent.
How the eggs develop into a fish. They get a little fishing time. They get to tie flies. They get to practice casting.
Very good.
Some good events.
You guys do a lot for the community and for the kids.
Yeah.
I think it's just excellent.
Well, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Yes, sir.
All right. Y'all have a great day and a wonderful weekend. Red, White, and Blue Festival.